And God, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but like, toot toot, like. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm a little nervous for today's episode, I can't lie. This topic is something I've always gone back and forth with because I don't know if I'm just being too much. But I mean, I know I feel this way and it's been driving me crazy. So I'm just gonna make myself talk about it. I'll use this to make myself less nervous. So today we are going to talk about why do people see my softness but still let me go? Why, if I feel like I'm easy to love, people don't know what to do with it or they don't want anything to do with it, like long term. Yeah, I've been stuck feeling like this for the past couple of weeks. I had something end that just really surprised me that it like really ended the way it did. And I don't know, I think I know my worth and I do think I'm easy to love. That is something that I believe, and I really respect myself. But when it happens kind of like multiple times, this feeling of like, what am I doing wrong to not have it last? It still weighs on you and it still like makes you doubt yourself. And so let's just dive into it. This episode I'm really going to try to keep like running smoothly, but like this is a sensitive topic for me and one that I don't have figured out yet again. It's more of a reflection and just like I'm kind of talking myself through my feelings doing this, and hopefully I can kind of like find some clarity. I don't know. Hopefully I find something just talking about this out loud. Yeah. So I do want to acknowledge before getting into it that I know I'm not and haven't been the perfect partner. And I do have insecurities and habits that have contributed to the end of something. And I have played roles that were toxic or unhealthy in a relationship before. And I do think that even though, you know, I've done bad things in a relationship, that outside of these like wrongdoings and fallacies, that I still have valid reasons and things that I can be upset about. And just because I did something wrong doesn't mean that I can't feel sad about something else. It took me a long time to feel that way. I felt like because I did stuff wrong, like I just had to suck it up. So yeah, basically in relationships, I have just showed up fully, I think, and I still felt overlooked. I feel like I'm easy to love, right? Like, at least with where I'm at now. Maybe like the beginning of my first long-term relationship. Oh my God, no. My poor boyfriend at the time. I'm sorry. Like, I'm still sorry. I was a little bit like of a psycho. Like, I had no idea how to deal with my emotions and I was just like a hot mess. And yeah, I mean, I obviously changed over the path of our relationship. And I do think like the last year that we were together, I was a lot more like reeled in. So in my first long-term relationship, we broke up and then we were this like situationship, toxic, like back and forth for like another year. Then we didn't talk for some and then we got back together. Yeah, the second time around dating, I do feel like I hadn't learned enough and I do believe that I was easy to love. And I don't think he made me feel hard to love. He did as good as he could with what he knew and with what he knew. And, yeah, you know, it wasn't unhealthy and that's why this episode is hard, because there's no fingers to point. This is just a feeling that I have. I don't know, but it ended really, like, simply and, like, what felt like really easy for him. So the relationship was good, and he had a big opportunity that would have, you know, caused him to need to leave, and, you know, that would have meant we had to do long distance. I don't know. There was no initiative to harbor the relationship, it felt like. Yeah, the conversation was had that, like, it's probably just better that we break up because he wants to go focus on this. I felt a little blindsided and a little not really considered, and yeah, and it was very mutual. It was peaceful. I have nothing but good things to say about him still, but it still did lead me to feel like, why was it so easy for you to leave? If I really feel like I've showed up fully, and like, why would you risk losing this? I don't know. And I wonder a little bit, like, do I just make it too easy? Like, am I too understanding to where, like I'm not, like, still subject to being hurt by things? I don't know. I'm going to try not to, like, cry this whole episode because this, like I said, is, like, one of my most touchy subjects, and why I'm doing it, like, first on the podcast, because I just have a lot to say about it. Okay. There's a Boy Genius song I was listening to in the sauna yesterday, and it really sums up how I feel about the situation. It's the bridge where she says, always an angel, never God. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know how painful that, like, part is. With my first partner, so I broke up with him. And in that year after, we were very back and forth, like, for like a few weeks on, a few weeks off, a few weeks on, a few weeks off. I wanted to get back together with him so bad. Like, I felt so sorry. I regretted my decision immediately. I told him that. And, you know, like, it's all a little foggy now. I think I've kind of disassociated myself from that slightly. But I do just remember, like, really wanting to be with him, and it always being, like, him being like, I'm not ready. You broke my heart. Right? I respect that. I get that. It just felt like, if you feel that way and then you keep seeing how I get hurt, why, like, let me get my hopes up every time? But in that time, like, that was so confusing as, like, a young adult and, like, kid, to be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm giving you, like, so much, like, I'm emotionally maturing rapidly so I could, like, have a chance at, like, you forgiving me, and it's just, like, not happening. Anyways, I think the bulk of this kind of started in that situationship where I broke up with him, so I felt like I did something wrong, and I felt like I had to prove to him time and time again it was never enough. So instead of just, like, you know, letting it not be enough, I felt like I had to do more. So I became this, like, perfectionist over, like, who I was in a relationship, and that, like, I didn't want to give people the space to, like, talk poorly about who I was as a partner, and I wanted to prove to myself that I could be a good partner, yes, but I, like, really wanted to prove to him that, like, I can do this. Didn't work. We ended up, like, having an explosive argument at a party, and we didn't talk for months. We ended up getting back together, and at this point we were both so much more mature, and this is, like, the start of, like, our good relationship. But I will still say, even though it was healthier and better, I don't know that it was. I think I became, like, more complacent. So yeah, like, getting back together, like, he was, you know, like, well, are you serious about this? Like, do you want to get back together? And I'm like, yeah, like, let's do this. Like, I wanted to marry him. I, like, was ready to marry him, but I do think that, like, I did kind of just become complacent, and, like, at this point I had gotten so used to, like, being the partner that just initiates fun stuff and friend stuff and family stuff. I was always, like, at his house more than, like, he was at mine, and, like, I became used to being the person, like, the initiator of the relationship. If there was tension, I was the one to confront it. If there was, like, if he seemed mad, I was the one to bring it up. If, you know, I don't know. I put my back into that relationship. I had been chasing him for, like, a while, and then I felt like I got him, and then, I don't know, things, like, seemed healthier, but, like, as far as, like, the initiative and, like how much of, like, his attention was directed towards the relationship, there still felt like an imbalance, I guess, because, like, I think we just thought about things, like, differently. Like, his focus was, like, work so I can pour into this relationship, and, like, my focus was, like, pour into this relationship and it will work. Yeah, so I kind of just accepted that dynamic, that I'm always just the person that initiates, plans the dates, makes the plans with friends and stuff. Like, it just kind of became who I am. Yeah, I kind of like changed who I was like around that relationship. I became like really nonchalant and chill. I always had to like intellectualize things and like think of things logically. And at the time, I didn't think I was changing myself. I thought like that's what was necessary. Like, I thought like I was meeting him halfway. And when that ended, I was just like really taken aback for a second. Like, wait, really? Like, this is it? And I like had this like moment where I was like, I just like reinvented myself for like the past year. No, the past like 3 years, right? Like, you're fine with it, just like with you just like leaving and like this just being like done. Like, really? And I don't know if that's like how he feels directly, but that's how it feels to me. Like, I felt like I spent all this time proving to you that I was a good partner, just for you to like be able to leave so easy. And even though like it was mutual, like, it didn't seem hard for him to go. Okay. Always an angel, never a god. That's how I feel. I could never like put a finger on what it was that I was feeling. Like, I just knew I felt like all of those things at once without being to name the root of it, what it was. I kind of jumped into something, I guess, like kind of fast, but I don't know, I felt ready, so I don't think I like owe an explanation for that. Whatever. Not that anyone's looking for one, but really like this guy, like, you know, and like I felt like, oh, like this is like easy. I never felt like I had to convince him to like me, and it seemed like he really appreciated like, you know, me and my heart and the things that I did. And I do think that he did. Like, I don't want to say he didn't, but he didn't enough to want to like commit. I think this is when I realized that this situationship, I guess you could say, happened like so like fast that like I was able to realize what was happening like a lot easier. Again, like, I was very flexible for this guy. I was chill and patient. I never forced the like, what are we conversation. I was never argumentative. I hung out with all of his friends. I was fun. I wanted to be all those things. I wasn't just doing them for him. Like, I pride myself on being patient and flexible and a good communicator. But, you know, it didn't work for no reason. Gosh. And I am sick about this, like, right now, the current state that I am in. And now I'm like getting frustrated with the like question, if you see my softness, why wouldn't you want, like, why would you be okay with losing that? And God, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but like, toot too. Like, I have my shit together, and like, I really like you, and I'm really good to you, and like, you say that you think all these things about me, but then like, you don't want to commit. I know all, like, so two things can be true at once. Like, I know my worth, but like, that kind of like, ow, like, that kind of hurts still. Like, am I just like the safe option? There's like a heartbreak that comes with this like repetitive of like, I'm literally giving myself fully, like, I am so invested in this, but like, just to come out on the other end feeling like a safe option or a placeholder. And like, did he ever really see it going anywhere? I I just feel silly. You know? Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, like, I don't have answers because I'm getting better, like, about, like, I won't chase this guy anymore. Like, I know not to do that anymore. I've learned, right? But I can't help but, like, wonder, am I as good of a partner as I think? And, like, what more could you be looking for? I don't know, maybe that's, like, a egotistical question to ask, like, to think I have everything to offer. I mean, I know, like, there are things I can work on, yes, but, like, I think that with where we were at, like, there was no reason to not commit to me. And again, there probably wasn't a reason. He probably doesn't have one that has to do with me, like, but you can't help but feel that way when you've, like, already felt that way before. Like, it, like, happens, like, again and again. Now I'm just stuck in, like, ugh, like, you know, that feeling, like, where you just, like, wish you could make them realize, you know, like, and I won't do that anymore because I've tried to do that, like, with my, like, long-term relationship, like, I tried, and, you know, like, I think that, like, I hope that, like, they do see that, like, I believe that, like, my softness is the first thing people notice about me, when they get to know me, like, that I have a good heart. And I don't know, I'm just at a point where, like, I don't know, like, I'm tired of being made to feel like my heart isn't enough. My friends and family, like, are always reinforcing love into me and, like, words of affirmation, and I do feel that, like, and then, like, I do believe them, and I don't just, like, take what they say lightly. Maybe I just haven't been picking the right people, but, like, I've really been made to feel like every person I've, like, been interested in romantically, like, I don't think they fully realized, like, my heart or saw my heart. But I don't want this to be all negative. I'm still, like, working on, like, trying to figure out, like, what I can make of this. Because I do think, like, that heartbreak and sadness, like, I like to just take away something from it and, like, just become wiser and smarter and, like, a better person and carry the lesson with me, like, into, you know, whatever comes next for me. And so far, even though I'm still kind of stuck in this, like state of confusion and, like, going back and forth with my self-worth, I will say, like, what's kept me just, like, motivated is just, like, kind of redirecting that love to people that do want to have it. You get more return on investment, and, you know, like, my heart is full. Even though, like, my confidence is kind of shaken, my heart is full with love from my family and my friends and the communities that I, like, invest in, and even from, like, you know, an ounce of myself. Like, I do respect myself, and I do not plan on guarding my heart. You know, I'm not searching for a partner, but, like, if someone presents themselves to me and I see it going somewhere, then I will continue to show up fully. I don't plan on ever not doing that. I do just want to say that if you feel the same way or whatever, like, just staying soft and open and romantic is not something to shrink away from. And I am a firm believer that, like, it will come back to me tenfold. But it does suck and it does hurt. And I can't wait to, like, look back on this when I found somebody who just loves me fully and thinks I'm great and just sees my full value and is ready to commit to that and match that fully. And I know this will pass. I can't help but be in my head about it right now. So I just wanted to come on and talk myself through. I think I got like a little bit of clarity of just saying things out loud. And I hope I didn't like trigger anyone, but I'm sorry if I did. Maybe we can just try to like be friends and redirect our love to our friendship. Yeah, I don't know why I am made to feel this way. And I don't know, like, maybe I'm just picking the wrong people to give my love to, but I don't believe that love is ever wasted. So I think it was meant to happen this way, and I know that like my love will pay off somewhere. I'm just in a feeling of right now of like feeling a little bit hopeless with it, and talking to the cameras already made me like feel a lot better about where I'm at. I know I'm all over the place this episode. I tried to narrow it down, but there's just so much revolving this topic that I can't help myself but just to ramble. So keep wearing your heart on your sleeve. We're in it together, and just hoping and believing that someday somebody will appreciate all of the work that we've done to be soft and recognize how valuable that is in a partner, and never put themselves at risk of losing that, and never put themselves in the position to lose you. It'll happen in God's time, and I trust that. And for right now, I'm just gonna devote myself to my future, to my friends and to my family and to God. And I know that He'll hold my hand through this process, and that all the answers that I'm looking for are found right through Him, and that there's nothing that He can't heal within me. So I have faith that this will pass in time, and with God's hand, you and me will be just fine. And yeah, I hope you take away some companionship in this, and knowing that you're not alone, and just reminded that God's got you, and just to reach for Him. Thank you guys for listening. I will be back soon. Yeah. Bye.